So you're in the right place if you want to understand and master SWOT analysis. Today's topic is all about from insight to action, mastering SWOT analysis, a deep dive. And what we're going to do here is, of course, I'm going to give you an overview and to give you a full breakdown of what a SWOT analysis is, how do you leverage it. But then at the end, I'm going to actually show you some of the tools that we use internally for our organization and also for those that we work with, as well as either clients and partners and whatnot, to help them with their SWOT analysis. So we hope you get a lot out of this, and we hope you decide to even connect with us and for more training like this, more deep dives like this, and much more. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy Newson. I'm the Impact Influencer, and I'm the founder of Moving Forward Small Business. I'm an international speaker. I get the opportunity to travel and speak with small businesses all over the world, especially in addition, virtually. You know, here some of our partnerships have included HubSpot, SEMrush, Google, Cascade, Trainual, conferences like the Digital Marketing World Forum, which is coming up next week, that we'll be at conferences all over the world. And so it's exciting to be able to communicate and connect with small businesses and help them understand the strategies that they need to be implementing. And at the end of the day, the smaller the business, the more they need to implement these strategies. Okay. So again, we're going to go deep here. And one thing I want to say before we get too far into this is between now and the end of this year, which is 2024, we decided to do away with our monthly membership cost and our yearly $490 cost and just do a one-time cost of $300 to join for life. So if you are looking for a community like this that we can pair you up with an accountability partner, you can focus on strategies that will help grow your business, especially if you're either feeling stagnant or you just don't know what to do from a strategy, from a digital transformation standpoint. You know, consider checking out our membership. I dropped the link in the chat. If you're on LinkedIn, I'll make sure that I also put that link on the replay page on LinkedIn. All right. So check out our membership. You know, again, we have a lifetime membership coming that we are pushing out right now to really bring in a lot of really incredible entrepreneurs and small business owners that can work together along with us to help us all grow. All right. Now, with that being said, let's start looking at what we're going to focus on today and in regards to SWOT analysis. So we're going to talk about what is a SWOT analysis. Then we're going to talk about the reasons you should do one. And then we're going to deep dive into the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, which represent the acronym SWOT. And then again, like I said, at the end, we're going to look at actual resources that will allow you to actually do this work. And in most cases, leveraging AI, and can you do everything with just AI? Absolutely. But the issue becomes still is AI is only as good as the information that you feed into it. So if you're not feeding a lot of information into it, then the information that it gives you back can be somewhat generic, especially when it comes to strategies that you need to use to grow your business. So you still have to do some of this work to make sure that it's analyzing the right type of data. It's analyzing the right type of competitors. It's understanding what are your overall goals that you're trying to achieve with your business. So all these things have to be taken into account as you're leveraging these tools and, of course, leveraging AI. All right. So I want to start with this quote from Mark Cuban that says, "I believe in using the SWOT analysis in all aspects of life and business. Knowing your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is essential to success." Okay. So basically he's saying you can't just go open a business and just close your eyes and go, I'm not going to look at anything. I'm just going to move forward. You know, you need to not only understand what you're good at, but you absolutely need to understand what you're bad at, and it's not, and make sure that everyone's aware, meaning the internal team understands, these are our weaknesses. These are threats that can hurt us. So instead of hiding from them and running from them, how do we address them? How do we go about making sure that this doesn't affect us in the long term? And these are things that we want to be able to tap into when we talk about a SWOT analysis. So what is a SWOT analysis? And so a SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool. So it's an actual tool. You create the tool based on these four different things, used to identify and understand an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It helps to assess both internal capabilities and external possibilities, providing insights for strategic decision making and competitive advantage. So again, we're going to break this up now into internal and external. Internal are things that you have control over within the business. External are things that you don't have control over that can affect you that are outside the business. So internal being your strengths and your weaknesses. External being the threats and the opportunities that are available to you. And so with that, you can make really great decision making, and you can also really define the competitive advantage. What makes you unique? What makes you different? Your unique selling proposition, your unique value proposition. Okay. So here are some reasons why your business should conduct a SWOT analysis. And again, every business on the planet should conduct a SWOT analysis, even if it's a simple one, just so you understand those four key things here. Okay. So it helps, of course, to identify your strengths. It helps to spot weaknesses so you're not blindsided. It helps to discover opportunities that you may not be aware of. And it can definitely assess threats because things will come up. An external threat for the entire world was COVID. Okay. It was unprecedented, and something happened, and it affected pretty much every single business on the planet. And some businesses like essential businesses got to reopen, but it still affected them until that point came in. Okay. So you assess threats. It helps to foster innovation, because once you understand what you're good at and what others may not be good at, because you can also do a SWOT analysis of your competitors to understand where their weaknesses are, so you can capitalize on their weaknesses. You can even improve your products because of their weaknesses, and that in itself fosters innovation. Okay, competitive advantage, strategy development, and risk management. Okay, and risk management definitely comes into play, especially around that threat category. All right, so let's start by deep diving into strengths. Okay, we'll start with strengths first. So you want to conduct a strengths assessment. So what are the things that you got to think about? You want to do an inventory of skills and assets. List all the current resources, skills, technology your business excels in. And this could be you personally, or it could be the organization as a whole. I'm a great digital marketer. I'm an inbound marketer. I'm also a public speaker. Those are great skills and assets that I personally have. And then my organization has a lot of great training and programming, all on demand, in addition to the live stuff that we're doing. And those are assets. Okay, you need to benchmark against competitors. Compare your unique offers to the or processes with your competitors to identify competitive advantages. So what do you do well? What do they do well? What are those key differences? At the end of the day, there are 5 types of competitors that you can have. The 2 that most people are familiar with are direct competitors and indirect competitors. So those are what we'll focus on today. Okay. Customer feedback analysis. Gather and analyze customer feedback to understand what your business is doing right from the customer's perspective. Okay. So now you can start to think about leveraging things like surveys. I just recently did a poll on LinkedIn because a colleague of mine, we're both planning a live event, and we were trying to determine, is it Monday through Thursday probably the best for a full day, or Saturday or Sunday? So we, instead of us just guessing and using our best assumption, we actually did a poll, and now the poll showed us that the majority of our audience would prefer a Monday through Thursday. And the funny thing is, that's what I felt, but he actually felt the opposite. He felt the weekend. So again, we can go back and forth about how we feel about something, or we can get real data. Okay. And then, of course, financial performance review. Evaluate your financial metrics and performance indicators to determine and identify strong areas that contribute to your bottom line. So here's an example of leveraging strengths to fuel innovation. So you might invest in high performing areas, so you're going to allocate more areas in the places that are your strongest points. Okay. I think I heard this from I wasn't not sure if it was my mentor or someone. They go, most people will pour most of their time and energy trying to turn a weakness into a strength, which can deplete a lot of your resources. Or you can double down on your strengths and get even stronger in those areas and move a lot faster. You can develop new products or services, use insights from your strengths to innovate and develop new offerings that capitalize on those strong points. You can create strategic partnerships, form partnerships with other businesses where your strengths can complement their offerings and vice versa. And this is something that we at Moving Forward Small Business do extremely well with. And so we have current deals now in place. We're doing something with the Digital Marketing World Forum, and we leveraged one of our strengths. We leveraged a couple of our strengths from me being a great speaker and someone that can host for 2 straight days to running our podcast at their event. And it's a partnership. So there's definitely some back and forth with that. So we both win. And then it strengthens your brand message. It gives you more to talk about around why you are who you are. So you incorporate your core competencies into your branding and your marketing material to clearly communicate your unique value proposition. Okay, so feel free. I know we got some people on. I can't really see the LinkedIn chat, but if you happen to be inside the Riverside platform, feel free to drop a message inside the chat. Let us know where you're from or ask me any specific questions around what we're talking about here. Okay, so here's a case study of XYZ Organic Skincare. So they did a strength assessment and it identified that its use of locally sourced organic ingredients as a unique resource that no competitor offered in the same capacity. And so what were they able to do with that? So they took action, and then so they launched a farm-to-face beauty line, highlighting their direct partnership with local farms, reinforcing their commitment to local economies and sustainable practices. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is transparency. Especially in 2024, where transparency of an organization, of a business, is a big thing to the younger generation. Okay, so this is how they were able to turn that strength into an actionable thing because of the strength. And this is what you got to do. It's one thing to come up with this, with the strength or the weakness or the opportunity or the threat, but then you need to create some action around that, and you may be able to act on it immediately, or it might be a contingency plan if this thing happens. Okay, so case study 2. This is a tech aid repair service. So we made up the name, so we're not necessarily putting anybody on blast here, good or bad. And so they did a strength assessments, and one of their strengths was their rapid repair turnaround time and exceptional customer service were top reasons for high customer satisfaction. So these are things, they're sending out surveys, and people are saying this is one of the top things that we love about your organization. So they're taking action. So what action did they take? They implemented a mobile repair unit to provide on-site services for customers, enhancing convenience and further reducing repair time, making it a first in their market. So now they took their brick and mortar store and made it mobile. Okay, so again, taking that next step to continue to build on a pre-existing strength. Okay. So now let's dive into weakness. It looks like we might have a message on LinkedIn. Give me a second. Let me take a quick look. And so let's talk about identifying internal weaknesses. What do you need to do to identify those weaknesses? Okay. You got to conduct regular, honest internal audits. Set a schedule for frequent and thorough reviews of all business areas. Look for inefficiencies, outdated practices, or areas where competitors are stronger. So again, don't get caught sleeping. One of the greatest stories of all time of a company being caught sleeping was Blockbuster, when Netflix came knocking on the door for support and help. And they were using outdated practices. They weren't focusing on competition. They thought that they owned the world, and at the end of the day, they lost, and they lost big. Okay, so and another thing about that first point is honest. You have to be really, really honest about what your weaknesses are. Don't be that person that is just not, that won't accept truth. Okay? Gather and act on customer feedback. This is a big one for people. People don't like to hear negative stuff about themselves or their business. But at the end of the day, when I do my trainings and programs inside of our online community, I always go, how was this training? At the end of every month, we have what we call a coffee and convos conversation. And I'll ask them, what were the strong points of this month's training? What were the weak points? Was it too much? Was it not enough? And then I kind of sit back and cringe because it hurts to hear negative feedback, but it's also important to hear negative feedback because that's how you make improvements. That's how you turn things around. And if you're sitting there and you're not taking you don't have any type of feedback system in place, a feedback loop, you could be bleeding new opportunities, new members, and not knowing why. And it could be such a simple fix. So surveys, social media interaction, direct communication to understand customer dissatisfaction or demands. The third is just to benchmark against competitors. Periodically compare your products and services, your pricing, your digital marketing strategy with businesses that you have identified as competitors. You can use tools like Ahref or SEMrush to look at their digital strategies, look at how their social media is performing, look at how their SEO is performing, see if they're running digital ads, look at the actual digital ads. These tools exist for us as small businesses so we can actually take advantage of these opportunities. And then, of course, if you have employees, if you're not a solopreneur, encourage employee feedback. But even if you are a solopreneur, you're not necessarily alone. You probably have vendors. You might have a virtual assistant. These individuals are vested in your industry. You might have partners, so you can get a partner feedback survey, an independent contractor feedback survey. So they don't have to necessarily be actual employees. Anybody that's interacting with you from the standpoint of not necessarily a customer, but someone who's helping you provide those products or services, they can give you great feedback as well, and you must listen. Okay? So, how do you mitigate weaknesses through innovation? You need to embrace technological advancements. You need to form strategic partnerships to fill in the blanks where you are weak. You need to invest in creative problem solving, and you need to continuously learn and improve. I am constantly learning and improvement. So I see I have a question here. Tionila, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name horribly wrong. How can you use your social media to promote your business? Again, there's two ways to do it. One, you only promote your business on a social media channel where you know your target audience is. Okay, so the question becomes, have you validated that your audience is on this particular platform? If you're just starting out, you should focus on one, maybe two platforms. If you've mastered them, then you can expand across that. So one way of looking at that is to audit, not only yourself, but audit top 2 or your 3 competitors and see what they're doing on their social media channels. And this is, again, where a tool like SEMrush or what's the other tools? Even I'm not sure if they could do competitive analysis, but maybe Buffer or there's quite a few social media tools. Can they analyze your competitors? We recently did a social media analysis for one of our clients, and they have a huge following, probably 500,000 followers across all of their platforms, but they weren't getting the same interaction as 2 of their top competitors. So we analyzed their competitors to understand, well, what's the difference between what you're posting and what they're posting? And there was a significant difference. They made the change, and their interaction and their engagement went up. If their interaction and their engagement went up, that means their opportunity for conversions and from the promotional strategies also went up. So I hope that helped. Okay. So here's a case study. It's a small local bookstore, and and if you don't know, bookstores have been tremendously affected by digital. I remember not Blockbuster. Remember Barnes and Nobles and the other bookstores. They're struggling to compete, so they have to do some changing. One thing they have in their favor is they do have a venue. Think about that. The word I just used, venue. So no longer just a bookstore where you go buy books because you can get on your Kindle and this and that. It's a venue. So how can you leverage that? So here's the steps that they took. They started with technology. They launched an online platform for e-commerce offering local delivery and online order pickup in store. They also partnered. So they did partnerships. They collaborated with local authors and cafes to host book readings and discussions. So now it's an experience. They're offering an experience that you're not going to get just from downloading a book onto your iPad or your tablet, And so they can now connect with that author, especially if that author moves them. Creative problem solving. They introduced a subscription-based model where customers receive a curated selection of books monthly. And so now they just created recurring revenue. Okay. And then continuous learning. Staff and management attends workshops on digital marketing. I hope they're attending my workshops, and community engagement, applying these strategies to improve their presence and their appeal. So this is how they can turn a weakness, which is a bookstore struggles to compete with online giants in both inventory and price, into a strength. Okay. Case study 2, a small organic farm. Their weakness was the farm's organic produce was not reaching enough customers, limiting its revenue potential. So here's some action steps. And again, you can take these 4 things. You take your weakness and then go, how can I leverage technology, partnerships, creative problem solving, and continuous learning? So they developed an app that allowed customers to view the available produce in real time and place the orders from home. 2, they joined forces with local restaurants, and this is a partnership, and health food stores to supply them with organic produce, expanding their market reach and making sales at bulk now. Creative problem solving. They offered farm visit tours and pick your own produce days to engage the community and create a unique selling proposition. And then as far as continuous learning, the farm invested in training of sustainable farming techniques and organic certifications, increasing their product appeal. So this is stuff they can now leverage in their marketing message and differentiate themselves from their competitors. Again, turning a weakness into a strength. So let's keep going here. Let's look into opportunities. And opportunities I'm all about opportunities all day, every day. Okay. So when it comes to identifying opportunities, we have to look at, now this is external. So the first 2, when we looked at strengths and weaknesses, that was internal. That was about you, your brand. External is about the things that you have no control over that can either give you a win or can hurt you. And so when we talk about opportunities, these are your wins. So you have to look at market trends, so market trend reports. You got to look at emerging needs. You got to look at unfulfilled customer demand. Okay, so you need to conduct market research. So there's a tool I'm going to show you a little bit later. Again, I'm going to show you, I think, 5 or 6 tools at the end of this training here. Okay, and it will give you some of this market research. Now, you can also use AI. You can use ChatGPT. You can use other tools, but there are caveats to using them, and there are issues also to using them. So we'll address that when we get to that point. But, regularly engage in market research to identify emerging trends, understand evolving customer needs, and spot unmet demands within your industry. You need to monitor competitors. And so a key thing on competitors, make sure that you've picked the right competitors. One of my things is that when I look at competitors for our industry is if they're not online or they're not doing well online, they are not a competitor to me. I have decided a digital strategy and a digital transformation is a key component to the growth of our organization. So they can be doing great, but if they don't have any online presence or very little presence, they're not my competitor. Why? Because online allows for a bigger reach to your target audience, and it also puts you in a position to be found first when people don't have a recommendation for someone to use. So there's where we win again. So that became a staple of how we determine who our competitors are and who immediately our competitors are not. Okay, you need to engage with the audience. So you're leveraging your social media. You're doing customer feedback forums. Again, I mentioned earlier, we just created a poll on LinkedIn, and we got about 20-30 people that filled out the poll. So it gave us some immediate interaction from people that are already following us, so we could gauge something that we're actually about to do for that audience. Okay. And then you need to analyze external data. Leverage data analytics on external data sets, including economic indicators, social trends, and demographic shifts to predict new opportunities for innovation. So I'm actually going to go into a first tool because it's relevant to specifically to this here. So this is a tool called Mergent. Okay. Now I know we have people watching this training from all over the world. So I'm in New York. So our library here in New York City gives us free access to a lot of these tools, okay, which could cost us hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year, okay? So I get access to this tool for free through our New York Public Library, and I get to access it from home. I do not even have to go to the library, okay? And so this tool is created by Dun & Bradstreet, or at least it was acquired by them. And so I just put in accounting. So let's say I'm an accounting service. And so this here is research, and it's literally called First Research. That's the name of the tool. And it gives you business challenges, business trends, industry opportunities, exclusive insights. So you can come in here and see what the opportunities are if I happen to have been an accountant. Okay. So I can see industry overview. I can see, so let's click on, so here's critical issues. Okay. And this is external. So it's giving me some critical issues: high regulatory complexity, risk litigation. I can look at the business challenges. What are the challenges for if I happen to be in this industry? Dependency on skilled personnel, complexity of customer needs. So you got to read through it to understand what they mean. But then I can also look at their industry opportunities. What are the opportunities for me being in this industry? Daily money management, customer M&As, specialties, and healthcare advisory. So again, this data can be pulled out and then put into your SWOT analysis under opportunities. What are the opportunities for me in this industry? Let's just do another one. Let's do consulting. And again, you might use a different tool, and you could ask ChatGPT to go give me some of the top challenges or the top opportunities for a consulting, a CPA firm in the accounting industry. Okay. So look, you can see, consulting services, surveillance, environment, every industry is here. So if I click on consulting, so I'm in the consulting industry. Okay. So someone asks, how do you keep updated with our business? With the new trends. Again, and this is one of the tools that you would do that with. You need to leverage external data. You might even go to Google and search industry trend PDF and then put in your industry and see what comes up, because somebody's probably already did an industry report. And make sure you put PDF, because you want to get a real report. You don't want a web page. You want a report that's going to be 20, 30 pages long, because it's going to have real data in it. Like I can export this actual full thing out. I can download a PDF version. This is going to be 20, 30 pages. Then you upload that into your AI tool, and now you can ask it questions based on this report. What are the top strengths what are the top opportunities for our industry and my company? Okay, so there's great ways you could do that. So you could look at the critical issues for the consulting industry. Again, it could be video production, it could be computer software, it could be so many things. They've already done a lot of the work. You just got to know that you got to go and get this data, get this information, so you can see, industry overview. Again, business challenges. Let's click on here. So there's business challenges: customer concentration, shared knowledge, increased liabilities for results. Okay, so let's go back in here and let's keep going. So now let's talk about aligning opportunities with internal strengths to drive innovation. So strategic planning and swift execution. So you got to do a strengths assessment, conduct an internal audit to clearly understand your business's unique strengths and capabilities, so you can leverage the opportunity that you just discovered. Add it to your strategic innovation plan. Develop a strategic plan that aligns your strengths with that opportunity. So again, you've collected your strengths, you've collected your weakness, now you're collecting your opportunities. So don't start the process yet. Let's get all the way to threats, and then we can start to analyze and go, because of our strengths, can we take advantage of the opportunity? Because of our weakness, would this weakness affect us with this threat? Okay, so align implementation, foster an agile culture within your organization that allows you to quickly experiment and expand on the strategies to rapidly respond to the opportunities. And one thing I want to say as well is I'll make sure this slide deck, when we send out the replay to everybody on Riverside that came through Eventbrite, we're creating a landing page, and we'll have this slide deck on that page. So you'll get access to the replay, and you'll also get access to the deck and all the resources. I'm going to have links to all the resources that I show you today. Okay. And then, of course, cross-functional teams. Form if you have a big enough organization, form cross-functional teams that bring together diverse perspectives and strengths to help you to take advantage of the opportunity. But again, if you're a solopreneur, then you might partner with someone to take advantage of the opportunity. We've done that before. There's been situations where we've been approached with an opportunity. We don't have a specific skill set. So we've reached out to another organization and said, hey, here's an opportunity. We don't do this part. Would you be willing to supply this part? We'll do that part, and we'll do it together. Yes. So there's always opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's keep going. So let's look at a case study. Case study number 1. A local coffee shop leverages social trends. So this is an opportunity. So the market trend that was identified through social media listening. So they were listening. So they used a tool to track certain keywords. So they're listening, and they're probably also tracking their name and the name of their competitors. Okay, so through social media listening and customer feedback, a local coffee shop identified a rising demand for environmentally friendly products and practices among its customer base. So their strength was the shop already sourced coffee beans from sustainable markets, but hadn't highlighted this practice in their marketing. So meaning they had this great strength and they never told anybody about it. So the action they took was they introduced a line of compostable cups and launched a bring your own mug discount initiative, prominently marketing these changes as part of their commitment to sustainability. The results was an increased foot traffic from environmentally conscious customers and enhanced brand loyalty among the existing customer base, setting the shop apart from local competitors. So you see how you kind of weave this together? All you have to do is make sure that you understand those strengths and weaknesses and opportunities. And now you go, so what do we do now? How do we take advantage of this? Okay, here's another case study. Tech startup capitalizes on emerging remote work needs. So the opportunity that they identified was a tech startup recognized the abrupt shift towards remote work and the emerging need for better virtual collaboration tools early in the trend. Okay, remember, Zoom just going through the roof? The strength was with a strong team of software developers. So they had a team of developers, already great developers, experienced in building user-friendly applications. The startup was well positioned to innovate in the space. So what's the action they took? The startup rapidly developed a new collaboration tool that combined project management features with real-time communication capabilities designed specifically for remote teams. And then the result was the tool gained quick adoption thanks to the intuitive design and reference to the newly expanded remote space, positioning the startup as a key player in virtual workspace solutions. So again, if you got your eyes closed, you're not going to know where an opportunity is. You're not going to understand what your strengths are. You're not going to understand what your weaknesses are. So now you know, now you can better position yourself. And this is growth strategy 101 here, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you are able to really predict growth opportunities for yourself, for your business. Okay, so now let's get into the final one, deep dive into threats. What are these threats that we'll keep talking about? So you need to recognize and monitor external threats. Okay, set up a competitor analysis dashboard and regularly track competitors' pricings, their product releases, and their marketing strategies. So you're immediately tracking the competitors that you have deemed the people that are taking the audience market from you, and you could take it from them if you had the chance. Monitor regulatory environment, especially depending on the industry you're in. You're in manufacturing, you're in some type of sustainability, where laws can affect you. You need to make sure that you're staying up on it. Let's just take, they're working on laws around AI. Okay. So here's a great thing. Let's say they finally come out with this law about AI, but let's just say this thing is like 300 pages, 500 pages. Well, you can take that 500-page PDF, upload it into your AI tool. We use AnyWord as our AI tool, our generative AI tool. That's one. We use two. We use that when you use ScaleNut. But I think you could do this on ChatGPT. You upload it, and now you can ask it questions. Based on this report, please summarize this report in 3 paragraphs. Please pull out the top 6 threats that can affect my business growth from this report. So it can do a lot of the work and just find exactly what you need based on how you phrase the question, how you phrase the prompt. Okay. Conduct market trend analysis. Again, going back to this tool, you can see it lists critical issues and business trends. Like, again, opportunities. There should have been threats here, but I don't see it for this one, so maybe don't have it. But you should. Again, we can look at critical issues as potential threats. Okay, and again, it's giving you an overview, and even has news and social for someone who asked about social. So again, this is one tool. All right, I'm going to introduce you real quick to another tool. This is a tool called Instant Personas, and again, I'm going to have the links on the replay page. And what you do is you just drop in an overview of your business. So I just dropped our overview of our from our about page, and I'm just going to click generate just so you can see in real time. So this is an AI tool, and again, it's great because it'll do some quick work for you, but it may not always be 100% true. It becomes a starting point. So it gave me some strengths. It said strong community-based approach to support small businesses, diverse range of resources, including events, expert content, on-demand training. It says focuses on providing actionable resources, and all this is true. And so this here could be part of my online social media campaign. It could be part of my advertising campaign. This stuff could be now leveraged. The strengths could be leveraged in my marketing material. And then it talked about my weaknesses. And my weaknesses, again, so I could look at the weaknesses and go, all right, what can I do to mitigate these weaknesses based on what it is picked up about my company? Then it gave me some opportunities. What are opportunities? Collaboration with other organizations or businesses to expand reach. Now, I'm already doing that. But if you're not, now you realize that that's probably one thing I should probably now start to focus on. And then threats, competition from larger corporate and established players in the industry. And I understand that. I have big players that compete with us. But I realized a lot of them don't do some of the things that we do. But that's because of I understand a SWOT analysis around our business. And now we're starting to leverage that to go, yeah, we may be 1/10 their size, but they don't do this one thing that we know that is non-negotiable to you as someone looking to solve this problem. Okay? So there's another tool you can leverage. So let's come back over here. Let's go through the threats, and I'm going to dive into a couple more tools for you. Okay? So you need to recognize and monitor the internal threats. Okay? So we looked at that, conducting the market analysis, trend analysis, and then, of course, engaging with customers and suppliers. Get direct feedback to anticipate market needs and supply chain risk. So you're having a conversation. What's missing from my product? What else would you like to see from what we provide you? Is there anything that we didn't cover? When you have that, remember that box back in the day they used to have on the wall? Maybe they still have it on the wall. I haven't been in an actual office in years, not one I had to work in. And it has a suggestion box. Hey, drop your suggestion in here anonymously. Okay? That is, people offering suggestions for improvement. Okay, and so you can get that, So, how do you develop innovative solutions to neutralize threats? Well, you adapt your products and services, continuously improve offerings based on your customer feedback and your market trends. Identify offerings, diversify offerings. Explore new markets or product lines to reduce dependency on a single source of revenue. You need to diversify your revenue streams. If you have one revenue stream, if that revenue stream gets shut down, you are done. I spent a lot of time in the event industry. I had a lot of friends in the event industry, private parties, social parties, corporate events. And when COVID hit, most of that was done. A lot of those individuals did not have diversified revenue streams. So they got hurt pretty bad waiting for a stimulus check. Okay? You don't want that to happen. That's a threat that could possibly happen again sometime in the future. So how do you prepare yourself? You have to, from this threat by immediately diversifying what you do. Okay? Implement preemptive strategies, launch marketing campaigns and loyalty programs to strengthen customer relationships before competitors do. Again, you could turn to your AI tools and ask them, here's what I do. What are the top 5 threats and what could I do if these threats were to ever happen? Okay? Invest in research and development. If you're big enough and you got a budget, dedicate resources to research and development to stay ahead of innovative solutions. Okay? And this is as you grow. This is an ongoing process. Again, this is not a set and forget. You don't do a SWOT analysis one time and never do it again. Okay? All right, here's a case study. And again, I brought up Netflix. Okay? Netflix adaptation and diversification. So we know the Netflix story with Blockbuster, at least most of us do. But let's talk about Netflix adaptation to diversification. So here's the background. Netflix transitioned from a DVD rental service to streaming, facing threats from traditional rental stores, streaming platforms, and content producers. Then, here was their adaptive strategy. Netflix pivoted again to streaming, vastly expanding their market reach and accessibility. And then diversification came in. So here's their diversification strategy. They started to invest heavily in original content to reduce reliance on external content providers, becoming a major content creator. So again, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, they all now have original programming, because if not, they have to license. And so they're, so in order to not be held, at the whim of someone who doesn't want to license them anymore, they had to start to create original content, which now makes their platform more unique, because that's the only place that people can watch that specific series or movie. Okay, the outcome, dominating the streaming industry, became synonymous with online streaming services. Okay, so that's a great case study of how they kept adapting. And again, this is over time. So if they stopped after the first one, they might as well have been Blockbuster 2. Okay, so let's look at a few resources before I let you go. So I showed you done the first research tool. I showed you this SWOT analysis tool. Now I'm going to show you another tool. It's called Awesome. Okay, and I recently discovered Awesome. I actually discovered it a while ago, but I didn't start using it till recently. Okay, and Awesome, you can drop in your URL or a page. So this is it. So it does, strategies. It does deep research. It does SWOT analysis. Which is what I wanted to show you here. Buyer personas. This tool is amazing. Now, the problem is this tool is $150 a month if you pay for it monthly. You do have a 7-day free trial, so you could test it out. You could test it out on a single product. So you could drop a single product URL in it. Or you could also test it out on your whole website. So you do need to feed it something for it to start to work. And then when you do, here's what it looks like. And this is where your mind gets blown. So it immediately does a SWOT analysis for you based on the URL. So we've used it to do our whole website, but then we also have independent standalone products. We treat our membership offer as a standalone product. We have a business plan bootcamp, which is a standalone product. We have a Traffic Max content marketing and AI program. That's a standalone product. So we did it for each one because each one has its own specific message that we could focus campaigns around, social media wise, advertising wise, marketing wise, partnership wise. So it did some strengths, it did the weaknesses, it did the strengths and threats, but it also did the market sectors. So it looked at the market that we're in. It looked at it did an introduction to the market. It defined, this is all through AI. It defined the features, the key trends, the challenges, and conclusions. And then it went in even further. And again, we're just here about the SWOT analysis, but I want to show you how much more you can get from this tool. It did a business analysis. It did marketing positioning for your tool. For your product. It did brand perceptions. And then it created customer personas. Again, that's a whole nother thing. Okay? So it did the buyer persona of the individual. Carla Thompson, 30 to 40 years old, female, master's degree. It did some psychographics. It did socio types on her. Again, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We have training in our community where we go deep into these tools. So we don't just tell you what to do. We work with you and show you how to do it. So we do this every single month. So again, I'm not trying to oversell you, but I want you to think about our lifetime membership into our community. Okay, here's another tool. So I mentioned SEMrush. So SEMrush is another tool that we partner with regularly. We do training with them. They've well surpassed 1 million users on this platform. So every time we teach, we get exposure to that audience. But I just used this company here, Digital Storm, and I dropped in 4 competitors. So it gave me of these 4 competitors, it gave me the total addressable market of that audience. It gave me the serviceable addressable market. So I know how big of the market, if I was in this industry, I could possibly sell to. It told me the growth quadrant, who's a game changer, who's a niche player, who's an established player, who's a leader. Again, I'm not going to go into this tool because we have training on that. It scroll down a little bit more. I can see the market, the purple line represents the market that they're all in. And then the yellow line represent, if I click on any one of these, it changes to that particular person. So I can see how would they with the market. Because if the market goes down, we probably go down. The market goes up, we go up. So you can see that when the market went down, they went down. The market went up, they went up. But what happens when the market goes up and you go down? That means that's a problem on your end because the market is winning, but you're losing. That means a competitor is beating you. So you got to understand how to analyze this data. Okay. And then let's look at traffic distribution. We got direct traffic to the website. We got referral traffic from a third-party platform. I write occasionally from Entrepreneur Magazine. And when people click to go back to my website because of me, that's called referral traffic. We got organic traffic, organic search traffic. So when you're going to Google, you're going to Bing, you're going to Perplexity, that traffic is classified as search. You got paid. If you're seeing that your competitors are running paid advertising and you're not, well, you know that you probably need to start running paid ads because your competition is. You can see the social organic. So this is how, again, when we talk about if you're monitoring the right competitors and they're there, you need to be there. Okay? And then you can see the market domain. You can see, the average market says 18% of that market is 18 to 24. And you only have 10% of that. So you're below average. That means there's room for you to target more people in that particular demographic. And here, the average market for the age of 25 to 34 is 24%. You're at 26. So you're doing great with this demographic. Okay? And so you can look at your competitors and go, well, how well are they doing with that demographic? Are they doing better than me? Are they doing worse than me? And then you can make claims like, we're the number one this platform for people between the ages of 24 and 34 because you kind of now know that's true. You see, we're the best solution for this type of demographics. Millennials, senior citizens, this or that, because you're looking at the data and you're going, yeah, we're doing better than the market that for that industry. Okay, you can see we're the top country. So this is a place when we talk about expansion because of your SWOT analysis. You can see that, that this particular client, the most of their market share is in the United States. But you might be looking to go into Canada and you have no presence, and you can see that they have a 2% presence in Canada. So you're like, okay, if they can be in Canada, I can be in Canada. Let me go and now figure out what they're doing in Canada so I can get a head start on making sure that I start off on the right foot. There's so many opportunities. It's still going to be based on your overall business strategy that you're putting out there. But these are how you look at these different things. Okay. And then let me see. There's a couple more tools. There's Cascade. Cascade is a tool to help you measure the power of your strategy. So, and so you can see if it's on track. This is because now that you know what your company's strengths are, you need to put them into a platform so you can then act on them. So once you determine what you're going to do, you can add them here. You can track how well you're doing with those strategies. That's a tool, and this tool can be used for free for small businesses. And then I even use a platform, a business plan platform that allows us to create, to now put your business SWOT analysis into your business plan, because you should have a SWOT analysis in your business plan. And again, if you do that SWOT analysis independently, that's a part of your overall business plan that you're doing. So you're knocking out another opportunity to get something done for the greater good of your organization. Okay, so and let me just show you how cool this is. So I just added this because I wanted to show you. So I don't have anything in here for this particular SWOT analysis. So if I come over here and say start topic, and again, this is another way to leverage SWOT analysis. So I could ask the AI to help me write it, so it understands. So I can do any facts. So let's say I did get a couple of strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats from my research. I can drop them all in here and then generate. So I'll go, that's for lack of the fact that I don't have anything prepared, I'm going to say, I don't have anything offhand. Can you create for me? Generate draft. Sit back and let's watch it do its thing. All right, let's give it a second. And I appreciate you all sticking with me. And so it's already started. So look at that. A comprehensive SWOT analysis for moving forward. Because again, it's leveraging what I've already put into the business plan. So I don't have to even give it too much. So it gave me my strengths, my weaknesses, my opportunities, and my threats. So there's so many different ways you can do it. What I want you to do by us walking through this training is to make sure that you understand what it's giving you. So then you could make adjustments to it, because this one is not exactly right. This one is. Remember, you're basing the growth of your business on this. So when I use AI, the workflow is always human to AI and then back to human. Okay, so someone asks, is there a note for this particular class? I'm going to give you access to this recording and also the slide deck. So I think you guys that are chatting with me inside of the platform, you came through Eventbrite. So tomorrow a replay link will go out, and you'll have access to all of this, okay? So these are a few of the tools. So again, I mentioned this is our membership on movingforwardsmallbusiness.com. I dropped the link at the top of the chat. I'll drop it again. But if you want to get lifetime membership to our community where we teach this stuff every single month, we do tons of topics. Here are some of our topics that we've done that are now all on demand. AI content writing. We just, our April was your innovation strategy with SWOT analysis. I only gave you just under an hour today. This is 7 hours of training, 6 to 7 hours of training. So you're going to walk away with it done, leveraging the tools. So again, we go deep into some really great strategies. It's high level, but we break it down. So consider looking into our strategy alignment and execution membership. You can get in now for a one-time price of $299 and never pay again. At the beginning of the year, how does someone become a permanent member? Well, if you join here, then you will be a permanent member. And again, you only pay one time. We do monthly and yearly, but between now and the end of the year, we're doing a one-time, and you're in for life, and you never have to pay again. So consider doing that. Once we reach a certain amount, if it's before January, we're going to go back to our monthly and yearly. So secure your seat sooner than later, okay? And then you get a chance to hang out with me and other entrepreneurs in our community, okay? So with that being said, takeaways are, the importance of SWOT analysis is to identify how to leverage internal strengths and opportunities while addressing your weaknesses and your external strengths for innovation to get strong and to get better. Okay, so conduct your SWOT analysis. Encourage feedback from stakeholders, and continue to modify this. I say maybe every 3 months, update. Revisit your SWOT analysis to make sure that a new player didn't sneak in and is taking market share from you. Okay, so again, I talked about our strategy alignment membership. We also have some other stuff, and if you click on the link, we've got our membership. We got this opportunity on a platform called Gumroad. So it's going to take you to Gumroad, so you're still going in the right place. That's just where we're doing our lifetime access. Okay, So I'll see if we have any final questions. And if you want to connect with me, please connect with me on LinkedIn. That's my favorite, but I am on all other platforms. But connect with me on social media. If it asks you because you're third degrees away, then there's my email address. You can use my email address and just say, yeah, we've been crew since '92, and connect with me there. I love to connect with people. And again, I'll see if I'll look here in the chat. Let me check on LinkedIn, see if we have any questions. If not, I look forward to seeing you at another one, and I hope you'll consider checking out our online membership community. All right. With that being said, I really appreciate everyone. Do you need any social handle? Just type in Jimmy Newson. I'm an SEO guy, so you type in my name, depending on whatever platform it is, I should be the first one that pops up. Okay. But if you go to movingforwardsmallbusiness.com, you can also find me on there as well. All right. So I do appreciate everybody. I appreciate your time and energy. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you got something out of today, and I look forward to seeing you at another presentation real soon.